Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Rewind the Tape, but this time deep from within the heart of the Bengala jungle. I am none other than the Soda who walks, joined as always by my sidekick, my partner in these endeavors, Ben. How are you doing?
Doing fine. Looking forward to talking about this fun movie with you.
Yes, we are here to talk about 1996's The Phantom, which I saw in theaters. My dad took me because my dad grew up listening to the radio plays.
Oh wow, okay, cool, very
So he
cool.
took me to see the movie, and it's a movie I've been watching ever since. Now, fun trivia question for you. Who is the first superhero?
The Phantom.
Correct. He supersedes Superman by 3 years. The daily strip for the Phantom came out February 17th, 1936. So the Phantom is the very first superhero.
2 years, not 3 years.
Right, Batman was 39. Yes. Yeah. So he supersedes them by 2 to 3 years, thus making him the very first superhero.
And I I like this movie. I mean, you obviously not as much as you do, but I can also see Brendan Fraser playing this character.
I don't know. I don't think it would have been. I don't think it would have been the same movie. If that makes sense.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
This is Brendan Fraser could have done it, but I don't think it would have been this movie.
Do you think it would have been
It just would have been different.
okay?
It,
That
it probably would have been less. It would have been more. It probably had more comedy in it.
okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
It kinda reminds me of a mix of Indiana Jones and the Mask of Zorro, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It basically is what it is. Yeah.
And you think Catherine Zeta-Jones in this and the Mask of Zorro.
This was obviously before The Mask of Zorro, so this was her first big role.
She looked good.
Yeah, no, this was definitely before Mask of Zorro. So the cast in this movie, you have Billy Zane as Kit Walker, the Phantom, Treat Williams as Xander Drax, the bad guy, Christy Swanson as Diana Palmer, the love interest to the Phantom, and later in the comic books, wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones as Sala, the female henchman, James Remar as Quill. So for those of you who know who James Remar is, he played Raiden in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting. You have two actors from the Mortal Kombat movies in this movie.
Ah, that's right. And James Remar as well played the adopted father in Dexter.
Oh, okay, nice. I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, no, he played the adopted daughter. He was basically the ghost voice that was constantly talking to Dexter in the show. Basically, he's a character actor who's been in a lot of movies. A lot of people know who he is, at least by look.
I don't know about in other stuff, but in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, his look kind of reminded me of, what is it, Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy? You mean the writer?
No, not Tom Clancy. Clancy Brown.
Who, sorry?
Clancy Brown. Voice actor.
Gotcha.
He been in stuff. You would know him if you seen it.
Of course I know what Clancy Brown is. Yeah. Lex Luthor himself. Yeah.
Also played a general on the Flash, somebody in Law. I believe in an episode or two of The Mandalorian. I could be wrong about that.
Nope, but he was in 3 episodes of Gotham. He played Commissioner Gordon's dad. He was in Black Lightning. That's probably where you're thinking him from. He's in Black Lightning. He's the mentor to Black Lightning.
Clancy Brown?
Oh, Clancy Brown. I thought we were still talking about James Remar.
Wow, okay.
What? Clancy Brown. Let's see. Yeah, he was in episode chapter 6, The Prisoner.
Yeah.
But anyways,
All right.
here to
Yeah,
talk
it's not.
about
It's not me, man.
no
You
worries.
know me. I like to go off on tangents.
No,
It's a
nothing
big
wrong,
show.
nothing wrong with that with me. No, so this movie came out in 1996. Where the hell was it? 1996. It had a budget of $45 million. Unfortunately, it only grossed $23.5 million domestically. This is considered a box office flop, which is unfortunate because it is a fun serial of a movie. And with
Do
some
you think?
options.
Do you think it would do better today?
I think so. Like clearly, this movie was was a product of the '90s, but I think you could do the Phantom today and probably make a really good movie out of it.
I see like a national treasure type of vibe if they made it today.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into it. Now, what I love is that this gives us an intro into actually the history of the Phantom, which I thought was really good to have. In the early 16th century, a young boy helplessly watches his father's death at the hand of the Kebai Sang, the ruthless leader of the Sang Brotherhood who attacked their ship. The boy jumps overboard and is washed ashore on an island called Bengala, where he is found by local tribesmen who take him to their village. There he is given the skull ring, swears to devote his life to the destruction of piracy, greed, cruelty, and injustice, and as an adult adapts the identity of the Phantom, a masked avenger. That's where the Green Lantern got that from.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
You know what I just said? This is where he's given the skull ring, swears to devote his life to the destruction of piracy, greed, and cruelty, and injustice. Sound like the Green Lantern to you?
Yeah, no, I'm not funny with you. I didn't have that
This is amazing when you look back on it, that this is where some of those things come from. Not just Superman, but some of the predate Superman.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. The mantle of the Phantom was passed down from father to son through 400 years, leading people to believe in a single immortal figure, which is where the nickname "the Ghost Who Walks" comes from. In 1938, Kit Walker, played by Billy Zane, the Phantom's descendant, finds a man named Quill, played by James Remar, leading a mercenary group in the jungle. The group is searching for one of the skulls of Tuganda, which grants its owner a tremendously destructive power. The Phantom saves the native boy they have kidnapped to be their guide and captures Quill's men, leading them to be picked by the Jungle Patrol. Revealed as a member of the Sang Brotherhood and the man who killed Kit's father, played by the great Patrick McGoohan, whose ghost frequently appears to Kit to give him advice, Quill escapes with the skull and returns to the United States. In New York City, Kit's former girlfriend from college, Diana Palmer, played by Christy Swanson, is a frequent traveler whose uncle, Dave Palmer, played by Bill Smitrovich, is the famous owner of the World Tribune newspaper. The newspaper.
Can I ask you a question? I'm sorry, I didn't have to know. What happened to Christy Swanson?
I'll put it in the private chat.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't realize that was okay.
See why I didn't want to say anything?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the very first Buffy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay, the newspaper has been investigating power-hungry business magnate Xander Drax, a shady character with a reputation for dealings with criminals. Palmer has managed to uncover that Drax is connected to a mysterious spiderweb symbol, which he traces back to the Bengala jungle. He sends Diana to investigate, but makes the mistake of informing New York's corrupt police commissioner, who is aligned with Drax, of Diana's trip. The airplane is hijacked by Drax's female air pirates, led by Sala, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and the very first thing I ever saw her in.
Hell yeah! We got that Catherine Zeta-Jones, maybe.
2 years before Mask of Zorro, her biggest role up to that point, yeah. Diana is abducted and taken to their base on the waterfront in Bengala. Having been informed of Diana's abduction by the Jungle Patrol's Captain Philip Horton, the Phantom rescues Diana and escapes from Quill and his men to his secret base, the Skull Cave. Now, there is one thing I want to bring up that's not in the synopsis, and it is the first time we meet Xander Drax. He brings in the head of the New York Public Library to his office because he wants to know how Uncle Dave got a hold of this information. And he says, "Oh, that's fair enough. You gave me everything I want to know, but I want your expert opinion on this thing under the microscope. Just pass me your glasses, please." So the guy is like, "Oh, it's kind of hard to read. I can't see it." So Drax like, turns the dial, and all of a sudden you see, "Liar! Shink!" Ah! He stabbed his eyes out. And
Yeah.
won't be needing these anymore. Crunch. Like, he's very over the top in this movie as the villain, and I'm here for it. He just chews the scenery up.
Yes. 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 I agree with that.
And a lot of these, like his henchmen and stuff, especially Vinny and stuff, they kind of follow like the stereotype New York gangster trope. You don't want to
Say hello to my little friend.
pretty much. Yeah, because he tells them like you don't want nothing to do with me. Yeah, no, it's some pretty good stuff. Okay. Back in New York, now dressed as his civilian self, Kit meets with Dave Palmer, or Uncle Dave, at the World Tribune, and once again meets with Diana, who has mixed feelings about him since his sudden disappearance several years before. Diana's would-be suitor, Jimmy Wells, played by John Tenney, or the former Mr. Terry Hatcher.
Who?
The suitor, the one that's always trying to get, try to date Diana.
Yeah.
That's actor was formerly married to Terry Hatcher, like 20
Oh,
years
no
ago.
way. I didn't know that.
And everything, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, John Henney in the 90s was kind of, you saw him places, kind of like how you see, the guy who played the mayor in The Dark Knight. He played like Batmanuel in The Tick.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of like saw him everywhere for a while. It's same idea with John Henney.
That guy who played the mayor. Oh, wait. The mayor in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, he's a Hispanic actor.
The guy from Lost. Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like him, where it's like you saw him everywhere for a while. That's basically what John Henney was.
Okay. For a second, I thought you meant the guy who also played Thomas Wayne in Joker also had a part in The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises. One of them two.
Yes, I know what actor. Yes. Okay, where was I? Diana's would-be suitor, Jimmy Wells, mentions he has seen one of the skulls in the Museum of World History. Kit and Diana hurry there and are captured by Drax and his men, who steal the second skull and unite it with the first, revealing the location of the third skull on an uncharted island in the Andaman Sea known as the Devil's Vortex. Or, as Xander Drax says, just as I thought. It's like, yes, because you knew that.
Of course. Good for you. Good for you.
Okay. Kit manages
Good for you.
and as the Phantom evades the police outside the museum. Meanwhile, after Sala reveals that Diana is his girlfriend, she flies Drax, Quill, and Diana to the Devil's Vortex, unaware that the Phantom has managed to hitch a ride on one of the plane's landing pontoons, which means that must have been cold, because he's just wearing tights. And those type of tights will tell you how cold it is. What was previously an Indy was probably an Audi. Audi was probably
I was in the pool.
George Costanza for the win. On the island, Drax meets with the pirate Kebai Seng, played by none other than Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, who, for those who don't know that name, you know him as Shang Tsung from the very first one.
Your soul is mine.
And it's the same fucking character in this movie. He does it exactly the same, and I love it.
He's the best, isn't he? He's the absolute fucking
I
best.
love this guy. And apparently he's like the nicest guy.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
The nicest guy. So yes, on the island, Drax meets with the pirate Kebai Seng, direct descendant of the Seng Brotherhood's original leader, who possesses the third skull. Seng warns Drax of the existence of the fourth skull, which controls the power of the three. Interesting how it was never mentioned before. The Phantom appears and battles both men, with Kebai Seng killed by his own men, by his own pool of sharks, and Diana and Sala cooperate to defeat the other villains. Drax unites the three skulls and turns their power against the Phantom. In the process, Quill is accidentally disintegrated after Phantom recovers his father's gun belt. The Phantom uses the fourth skull, his own ring, to turn the skull's power back against them, destroying them and Drax in a powerful explosion. As the island is destroyed, the Phantom narrowly escapes with Diana and Sala. In Bengala, once again, Diana reveals to the Phantom she has figured out his secret and his double identity. Kit removes the mask, informing her that he has allowed all of his secrets to only one person, the woman he intends to marry, but she leaves again for New York. Kit's father laments his son's failure to pursue Diana, but states she will return to the jungle and to Kit one day. And credits. Yeah.
Insane.
It's a fun movie that you put on. It's like what, an hour and a half? It's not that long. It's a fun romp.
It kind of reminds the way you love this movie is the way I love The Rocketeer.
Yes. Now, The Rocketeer is a movie I do enjoy as well, but for me, I came up to it a little late, to my 20s. Whereas this one, I've been with since the beginning.
I'm almost the exact same way as The Rocketeer as you are with this.
That's very nice. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is a movie I wish they would like. It's only ever done the one DVD release. I think one early Blu-ray release. I wouldn't actually mind a better quality version of this movie because I do own the original DVD.
Yeah, they be talking about The Rocketeer. That might be my first comic book movie I have ever seen.
Batman '89. I've had the VHS since they came out for me. Even
Do you remember your first PG-13 movie you saw in theaters?
Jurassic Park.
Oh.
If that's PG-13, then that is the first one.
The Mask for me.
Oh yeah, I didn't see The Mask in theaters. I never saw those early Jim Carrey movies in theaters. The first one I saw.
Maybe that's why you don't love them the same way.
I do. Oh, no. I watched them. I just never saw them in theaters. My first Jim Carrey movie in theaters was Batman Forever.
Okay, that makes sense. Swing at them.
Yeah, exactly. So what are your takeaways from the movie then?
It was fun. Well, like I said, it was fun. Well, Billy Zane. Gotta love the Zane Master.
Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones. Perfect.
The Shadow. I don't know if you've ever seen The Shadow with Alec Baldwin. It came out a few years prior to this. It's a similar movie, but this movie does it better.
Yeah, I haven't heard that great things about The Shadow.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
So, I say it's time to let's get this party on the road. Let's see what we watch next week.
Okay. I'll bring it up.
Okay, so I'm sticking with The Mummy. You Face Off? Was it the one you picked?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right.
We're going to watch no matter what it is.
Of course. We're just doing our picks. I want to watch Face Off.
Okay, let's go.
Mommy.
Face Off.
Meryl Streep. The Rock.
Okay, I knew it.
This is gonna be fun. The 1996 movie with Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris, John C. McGinley. Who else is in this movie? Was in that movie?
Sean Connery?
Yeah, how can I forget Sean Connery? And what people like to say is his James Bond character.
Yes.
And we will be discussing that because they do hint at that sort of in the movie.
Do they?
While they say he's a former government agent, yeah, they actually pretty much say he's James Bond without saying he's James Bond. They really do.
That's awesome.
And on top of those, you've also got William Forsythe, Michael Biehn from Aliens and Terminator,
Yep.
Tony Todd, like some Claire Forlani, who's in this, who was a name in the mid-90s, Mallrats, Meet Joe Black. Like, there's a good cast in this movie. And, of course, directed by Michael Bay.
Probably the movie that's known as Michael Bay's best.
Yes.
Or one of his best.
Easily. It's, compared to some of the other movies, it's the most reined in. One of the more reined in ones he's done.
I wouldn't be surprised if they was one of his first movies.
It was his second movie because The Rock Bad Boys came out the year before. So this is his first 5 movies. Bad Boys, The Rock, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, Bad Boys 2.
Wow.
The Island, Transformers 2, Transformers 3, Pain and Gain.
What happened to him, man? What happened to him?
So Michael Bay he comes, this is at least it comes off to me, he comes off as someone who values spectacle over substance.
Yeah.
And because his movies have made so much money, he is given creative reign. And when that happens, sometimes the wrong people get, so you realize certainly that some people shouldn't have full creative reign.
Another one that comes to mind, but it comes to mind, but it's different at the same time. George Lucas.
Yes. Because George Lucas, you could argue, has only directed one good movie. 2 good movies. American Graffiti and A New Hope.
And one can argue, he directed Return of the Jedi.
Right. Not officially, though.
Right.
But yeah, you could say that. Hold on, I'm trying to bring up his filmography. Directors. So he's directed THX 1138, American Graffiti, Star Wars, the prequels. That's it. So yeah, he said he's only directed 2 good movies.
He didn't do Strange Magic.
No. What movie is that?
It's an animation movie that he might have only produced, but I thought he also directed.
The fantasy film?
Yeah.
He wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote. Okay.
Oh.
I thought he also directed it.
No, he wrote it.
Okay.
Weird.
That makes sense.
Weird. Oh, okay. I'm just reading up in the production notes. He wanted to make a film for his 3 daughters. Granted, they were all, adults by this point. All right. So next week we are venturing to the San Francisco Bay and visiting Alcatraz for The Rock. But before then, where can everybody find you, Ben?
You guys can find me at MikeTrinitman_Rainey on my YouTube channel, The Vortex Fish and Kingdom. Comment, subscribe. We have a lot of good shows. Just announced a new one we're doing starting next Tuesday. The Kingdom Initiative. It's a lost podcast. We're going to be watching every episode weekly and talking about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys are starting a new show. Glad to hear you bring it up. As for myself, you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me on the shows that Ben mentioned on this channel. You can also find me
I didn't mention them.
You can find me on Thursday nights on Rewind the Tape, Saturday afternoons as well with Ben and 50 on the Northern Countdown. You can also find me Wednesday nights on the Squared Slice when we actually do a show because, life happens during the summer on Wednesday nights, and then Saturday afternoons over on the Let's Get Ready Network on the Blokes of Wrestling. So on behalf of myself, Ben, thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week. Like I said, we're going back to Alcatraz for The Rock. Y'all have a good
Let's do it.
And we'll see you then.